This is everything that I made and served at my family's big fat Italian-American Thanksgiving. The prep started 2 days in advance with the turkey, which after getting a pat down, got a dry brine rubbed over and under the skin. After an overnight in the fridge, we transported the bird along with all the groceries to my parents' house, which is where we'll be hosting Thanksgiving. The first order of business was to prepare a garlic citrus herb marinade to inject the turkey with from the underside and then pop it back into the fridge. Next, I decided to get some basic prep out of the way. I made my classic cranberry sauce, began drying out the bread for the stuffing, and then went ahead and got a bunch of chopping mise en place done for a few of the dishes I'll be making tomorrow. The next morning, I woke up bright and early because it was
Turkey Day, baby!
and I had a lot to do, considering I took on the whole menu and have no chill, so that entailed 7 sides, plus the turkey, 2 sauces, and milk bread. I had to stay strategic and organized to get it all done in time with 1 oven and serving it all hot. The first 2 dishes I tackled was the stuffing and scalloped potatoes because I wanted to get them into the oven before the turkey went in. Making use of every inch of the oven space, I also popped in a sheet tray of bacon that I'll be using for my Brussels sprouts. At this point, it was time to redirect my attention to the turkey for the final phase of my 3-step turkey, the butter rub. I went in with a citrus herb butter under the skin and coated the outside with plain butter. I stuffed the cavity, tied the legs, and added stock to the bottom. I took everything else out of the oven and put the turkey in, which would get rotated every 30 minutes. Making use of the bottom oven rack, I put in my Brussels sprouts and then got the miso honey soy glaze done for later. Next, I needed to get started on the sheet pan lasagna. While I don't necessarily think we needed this in addition to everything else, this request came directly from my 99-year-old nonno, and what nonno wants, nonno gets. And ironically, right as I was finishing up the lasagna, my brother arrived along with my uncle and nonno.
Ciao, nonno.
Ciao, bella.
We got them set up with some drinks and a light antipasto, and then I got right back to it. It was a very last-minute decision, but I also wanted to whip up a batch of milk bread buns, which despite the fact that it caused my KitchenAid to break, rest in peace, they did come out delicious and were a fan favorite. An hour out from the party, it was crunch time. I started on the pommes puree, got Anthony and my brother to make the blue cheese bacon wrapped dates, prepped all of the ingredients for the salad, and at this point the turkey was done and looking as glorious as ever. While I put it aside to rest, I popped the stuffing, scalloped potatoes, and lasagna back into the oven, and I quickly whipped up a batch of my beloved candied carrots, riced and mixed together the pommes puree, and last but not least, formed the milk buns for their final rise. Everything was in a good spot. I started warming the gravy, transferred the turkey to a serving platter, and then it was time to change before my family arrived. Stay tuned for part 2 to see it all come together.
Happy Thanksgiving!